People of God, this is your girl Deborah Kitchen by Faith. I just want to upload this video for tomorrow. I want to thank all you guys for coming on with me tonight. This video is, I want to talk about the virtuous woman, Proverbs 31. The virtuous woman. Proverbs 1:20, wisdom is compared to a woman who shouts in the streets, chastising fools and scorners. Proverbs 31 provides a detailed image of feminine wisdom in the context of a family and a community. The chapter speaks of the worth of a good wife to her husband, the manual labor that she does, her fulfillment of responsibilities to those who need her, the ability to provide for her family, and her wisdom in caring for herself so she can share her strength with others. The chapter begins with Lemuel, 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 recounting advice his mother had given him. She encouraged him not to fall to weaknesses that would compromise his position as king, but to care for the poor. One of the weaknesses the king's mother mentioned was the exposure of his strength or noble character to be harmed by improper relationships with women. Although verses 10 to 31 do not directly follow this warning, it does illustrate a fitting description of what kind of woman Lemuel should seek. That is, an excellent wife who can find, for her worth is far above jewels. The heart of her husband trusts in her, and he will have no lack of gain. She does him good, not evil, all the days of her life. A good, supportive, trusting wife is a blessing to a man. A good, supportive, trusting wife is a blessing to a man. A woman who partners with her husband, who is reliable and looks out for his interests, his best interests, gives a man a security that is greatly lacking in the world. Just lacking. She looks for wool. She looks for wool and flax. This is the Bible says in Proverbs. She works with her hands in delight. She stretches out her hand to the staff, and her hands grasp the spindle. She looks well to the ways of her household, and does not eat the bread of idleness. The wife of Proverbs 31 isn't afraid of work. She gets up in the morning and she gets things done. In the time of Solomon, this involved making fabric and sewing clothes. But verse 27 certainly applies directly to us today. Taking care of responsibilities is a characteristic of wisdom. Taking care of responsibility is a characteristic of wisdom. The Bible says she rises also while it's still night. She gives food to her husband and portions to her maidens. She is not afraid of the snow for her household, for all her household are clothed with scarlet. She extends her hand to the poor, and she outstretches out her hands to the needy. Another characteristic of wisdom is the grace to help others. The Proverbs 31 wife ensures that those under her care receive what they need: food, clothing, protection, and she is able to serve others out of the excess of her work and the leaning of her heart. Her role as a provider extends past her immediate responsibilities and into the community. The Bible says she is like a merchant ship. She brings her food from afar. She considers a field and buys it. From her earnings, she plants a vineyard. She senses that her gain is good. Her lamp does not go out at night. She makes her linen garments and sells them. She supplies belts to the tradesmen. Beyond that, she's savvy. She's educated about the world and the world of business. She knows how to use her skills to provide for her family, and she's not afraid to go interact with that world, whether it be a merchant or a buyer. She knows how to use her strength, her best advantage, and she fully realizes how valuable her efforts are. The Bible says she griddles herself. She grits herself with strength and makes her arms strong. She makes coverings for herself. Her clothing is fine linen and purple. Strength and dignity are her clothing, and she smiles at the future. She opens her mouth in wisdom, and the teaching of kindness is on her tongue. The Proverbs 31 woman not only knows her worth, she knows her responsibilities to herself. She will not be able to provide for others if she neglected her needs, both physical and spiritual. She makes sure her appearance reflects her respected position as an influence in her community. Her greatest strength is her wisdom, her accurate judgment about the world and her influence in it. And she is quick to share the wisdom she has gained to encourage others to reach their potential. Her husband, the Bible says, her husband is known in the gates. When he sits among the elders of the land, her children raises up and blesses her. Her husband also, and he praises her, saying, My many daughters have done nobly, but you excel them all. Charm is deceitful, and beauty is vain, but a woman who fears the Lord shall be praised. Give her the products of her hands, and let her works praise her in the gates. She knows that as a partner in her marriage, she has a tremendous influence on her husband's ministry. She can incorporate her life, both domestic and professional. Her ministry is such a way that her husband has a freedom to serve. He don't have to worry about nothing at home. In fact, her reputation is so established that it bleeds off into him. So he don't have to worry when he's out there preaching, teaching, or whatever, that his household is falling apart, because he knows he has a virtuous woman at home that's taking care of business. The Proverbs 31 wife is a fierce provider and protector for those she cares about. She is wise to ways of the world, but lives by the wisdom of God. As in the rest of Proverbs, these specific examples provide a metaphor for the larger truth. How many individual women emphasize, my country twang. These characteristics will depend on her situation, gifts, and abilities. The key is in verse 30, just as it is in the beginning of Proverbs in 1 and 7. But a woman who fears the Lord shall be praised. A woman that fears the Lord shall be praised. And that's a virtuous woman. Take care of business, take care of home, love your children, know how to work in and out of this life, in this world. Don't let nothing deter you, sway you, or move you somewhere else. This camera here keeps me up close, I don't know why. And be that strong backbone for your husband, not your boyfriend, for your husband. Because people think that calling your boyfriend your husband, or just saying, well, we don't need to get married, that's just a piece of paper. That piece of paper goes a long, long way. Because when it's time to take care of business, you need that piece of paper, because your boyfriend is just your boyfriend, and somebody just going to come on in, and all the work that you put in, they're just going to take it away from you. So be that virtuous wife. I thank you all for listening to me this morning, and I want to thank you for dropping in, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Be blessed. This is your girl Deborah Catch by Faith saying, if nobody say they love you, you know I do. Be well, be safe, take care.